Another video on bacon braciole. So I was faffing around the other day, and I've made braciole before, and it's normally made with beef. I've made it with pork belly in the past, and it was very nice. But I was kind of thinking, could you make it with bacon? And I did it the other day, and it worked out very well. But then, as I was doing it, I actually kind of thought of something else that we could do, which was similar, that might work a little bit better. And then I thought about something else as well as that thing that I thought we could do another way. So I'm going to do two things. So we've got 6 rashers of bacon. It's a three, just the cheap stuff from the supermarket, because I'm only faffing around. So it's the cheap stuff from Lidl. It's and I picked it because it's slightly thicker than the other stuff you can buy. So there's 300 grams and there is 9 slices in a packet. So I've used 6. Put them on a bit of baking parchment, and then we're going to stuff it. So how much stuffing have we got? I think yeah, it's equal quantities of dried breadcrumbs, grated hard Italian cheese and parsley. And we've got 230 grams worth of stuffing. So I'm going to put the stuffing on there, and then going to roll it up and see how that kind of works. So we'll work out how much stuffing we're going to put on. I don't know if I want to make it longer, actually. Do I? Don't want to make it longer. No, we'll just have a faff around. We'll just have a faff around with this one. We can always do another version. Oh, this might be the one. Oh, okay. Yeah, I've decided what I'm. Yeah, I can decide what I'm going to do. So we'll see how this turns out. Which way do we want to roll it up? That way, I think. Now, so how much stuffing is in that? That's taken us down to 30, 50. So that's about 70 grams worth of stuffing. And then I'm going to roll it up like this. And we're going to stick some cocktail sticks in it. And we're going to see what happens. Oh, that'll be better. Do it that way. So we'll start it off, and then I'm going to roll it. Not quite a tight roll. And then we're going to braise it. No, we have to do it that way. So that's okay. It wants to be kind of quite tight. So, there we go. That's kind of okay. It's a little bit loose. Could do to be a little bit tighter. Don't think I can make it tighter. Although the bottom kind, the bread will expand, won't it? Yes, the bread will expand. So, just need to be careful. We're going to put the cocktail sticks in. We'll do a better job the next one. Cocktail sticks right in front of me, as always. So, cocktail sticks to secure the ends, like that. And then I've got some of the tomato sauce left over from the other day that I made extra, thinking I was going to do something else, but I'm actually going to do this. And then it wants to be submerged in the sauce. Maybe I should have done smaller ones. I don't know. We'll work it out. You get the idea. So let's do 2 of these, and then there's another thing I want to do as well. So then we need to lift that into there without making a mess. Wants to stick. Not to worry. There we go. Like that, and then push it into the sauce. I think it's a little bit too delicate to fry off. So let's get another one ready, and then we'll do the same again. See if we can do a better job. And then I've got another one I want to do as well. So let's do a better job. Let's get rid of that, which will make the video a little bit longer. But you know, so slice of bacon, and I'm going to the second pack. 2 slices of bacon, slightly overlapping. The bacon's going to shrink. But the only problem that I had with the first time I did it was I used cooking bacon and it was just a little bit too thick. It was more like gammon steaks. So it was just a little bit too thick, which was a little bit tough. So that was my only concern with it. It just needed longer cooking. So where's my other pack of bacon? Put it straight in front of me again. There we go. I forgot how much the bacon was. £1.25, something like that. So we'll kind of have a look at portions and what we get out of it. Because I'm all about the cost effectiveness of things, you know. I think we can have nice food on a cheaper budget. There's no kind of excuses, really. We can make things nice using cheaper ingredients. We just have to put a little bit more work into them. But the idea that you have to buy expensive ingredients kind of annoys me a little bit. I think it's quite easy to buy expensive ingredients and make them taste nice. Or nicer. I think it takes a little bit more work with cheaper food, but we can still have nice things to eat. So let's see how much stuffing we put on this time. I'm just weighing things off camera. I can't do it on camera. So there's 160 grams there. I should have remembered, but I can't. Maybe I should have done that. If it splurges out, it'll be fine. The breadcrumbs are going to soak up some of the juice from the sauce and from the image as well. So yeah, down to about 85. Yeah, so about 70 grams for 3 slices of 6 slices of bacon, and then let's do a tighter roll. And if it would have been better the other way. I don't think so. Let's do it. Let's do it that way. Might be a bit thicker this way. Well, there we go. So, if you keep this bit of paper tight there, you can get that's certainly a lot tighter this time. So roll it like that, and we get a thicker roll. That's better. That's better. That works. I can feel that's a lot more secure than it was before. I wonder if we should put some bacon around the outside. Ah, that's going to split. That's not good. Ah, okay. Ah, right, okay. So that doesn't work that way. But let's fix it. Let's fix it. I've got some more bacon. Aha. So the other way works better. But let's fix that problem. So I've got some of the bacon, and it's just a bit thinner. See, I make the mistakes so you don't have to. It probably, and it also, this is also going to answer the question if it needs a little bit of extra bacon on the outside just to kind of make it better. Let's get that out of the way. I'm going to use it, I just need some space. So, that. Yeah, so this is a lot thinner bacon as this. So that to there, so it's thick end to thin end, and then it's going to be relatively even, and that one's go that way. Yeah, do we need another slice? Is that the way? Possibly. It'll be very bacony. And that way. Then let's get that back. And we know that rolling it that way doesn't work. But now we're also going to know that maybe an extra layer of bacon on the outside might be a winner as well. Probably could have got away with a slice less of bacon, not to worry. That onto there. Should have put it on some paper. Yeah, it certainly needs to go on some paper. It's a big boy, isn't it? Okay, that's going to hold it together. And that's also going to answer the question if we need to put another layer of bacon on the outside just to make it a little bit more substantial. It's a nice size, is that? It's a nice size. So, same again, cocktail sticks. And because it's now lattice, like we've done it one way and we've done it the other way, it's a lattice, so it should hold together better. So cocktail sticks, just in places where we look. So that's the end of a bit of bacon there. That certainly needs a cocktail stick going through it, and it will keep it in place. I'm just doing this out of curiosity. I've actually got no idea that it would ever be a dish that I could use. So that holds together better. So maybe we do need to put a layer on the outside. And then, that's a big boy, is that, isn't it? Look at that. So, push those down to the bottom. I think that's going to be my favourite. And then, got a little bit of leftover sauce as well. So that's going to go in and around. And then I'm going swimming. I'm going to put it in the oven and see how it turns out. That there, and then I'm going to do another version as well, which was, I was thinking about how we used to do a dish wrapped in tinfoil with a chicken leg. Maybe, oh yeah, then I was thinking of maybe it might be nice doing this stuffing in a chicken leg. So that's going to go in the oven, it's going to bake. I'm going to see how that turns out. And then what I wanted to do was another version. So, forgotten how I did it anyway. Right. So much for short videos, eh? That there. I was happy with it, how it originally turned out, but I just kind of thought there's always ways to improve things. So you could just take individual bits of bacon and wrap them up, but the only problem is bacon's not square. You know, you're ending up, you've got a thick end and a thin end, and you're going to end up losing stuffing or not being able to put as much in. But anyway, so that. Like that. We'll forgot to send that stuff in. So we'll be able to get the recipe down. So it's basically what I had, about 70 grams per 6 slices of bacon. But that depends if we're going to put more slices of bacon on the outside of this, which we might do. Or we might just, I'm waffling. No, what I'm actually doing is I'm thinking my way through. I'm not waffling. Instead of having my brain thoughts being internal, I'm talking as I go through, which is important actually. So we learned the first time, or the second time, that doing that gives us a tighter finish. So we pressed down as well, didn't we? Yes. See, we've forgotten already. That doesn't matter if that's a little bit messy. And press that down, pull it back, and then roly, 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 roly. Right. That's quite a big sausage, isn't it? Right, and then we're going to put another layer around it. I think so. I think I'd just be happier if it was just a little bit thicker with bacon on the outside. So let's use this thinner bacon. Yeah, this is going to be more secure. It's a lot of bacon. And the bacon's salty, so we just need to be careful with the amount of salt we season it with. So there's not that much seasoning in the sauce. And I didn't put any salt in the stuffing. I just relied on the saltiness of the hard Italian cheese. And of the... No, just put some pepper in. Bacon's a bit uneven. Put that bit there. Yeah, the bacon's very unevenly cooked. Right there, is that going to be big enough? No, let's put another on just to be generous. I mean, I'll do the costings for this, but it's like a cheap version of a Sunday roast, maybe. So, there, that on there, and then and I think that's a little bit too long. I'm going to cut it in half. And we're going to do something with it. So, sharp knife, which I haven't got. Closest one that comes to hand is that one. So, you see that. So let's cut that in half. And we'll have a look at it in the raw state. Shouldn't fall to bits. That's right, you kind of get the idea. So I've got a piece of foil already. And then this version, it's the same, but I'm going to poach it in some water. So we're going to make a sausage like this. I'll roll it up. Roughly right. Where's the end? There's the end there. And we're going to twist that like that. Where's the end? The end is about there. So we're going to twist that. I'm going to do the same to the other one, and then I'm going to poach these in a little bit of water, gently. So just neaten that off, so it'll come out interesting. So I'll do the same with the other one, and then we'll poach those for, I don't know, we'll just kind of see how long. But I'm not gonna cook those at the same time as the other ones. So we'll have the results for these first, and then we'll have the results of those, which I'll probably cook in a couple of days' time. But they'll be fine in the fridge for a couple of days, easy peasy. But we'll bake that. I'm going to go out, so I'm going to bake it at about 125 for an hour and a half, and then we'll turn it up to 180, 200 for the last 20 minutes, half an hour. I'm not going to put any cheese on top like I did before, but if you were just cooking from this state, I recommend 180 for about 40 minutes, something like 40-50 minutes, something like that. But anyway, that's that, and we'll see what it's like when we're done. Right, squeaky oven door. It's ready. I found a bit of cheese, so I put some cheese on half of it. We need to turn the oven off. We need to look at this. We need to look at that. No, I need to get that like that. I've already got one. So a bit of fat on the top. I think that's a mixture of the cheese and the bacon. So you sharpen a knife. So that was the double wrapped one, wasn't it? Let's have a look at that. Looks alright, isn't it? Looks alright. That's that one. And then this is the single wrapped one. I suppose it depends on how much bacon you want to buy, which one you kind of want to do. They both look like they've held together pretty well. So it's just a case of how much bacon you've got compared to how much filling you've got. So that's alright. That's alright. It's going to taste nice. It's bacon, isn't it? Bacon with cheese and breadcrumbs. What's not to like about that? Just need to decide, personally, which one I think is better. Obviously, I'm going to think the bigger one's better. Yeah, so I think the one with more bacon that's right wrapped in the bacon kind of works better. I think there'd be a better one. I suppose you could layer some bacon one way and then layer it the other way, or maybe not. No, I think wrapping it up and then wrapping it again, I think that's the way to go. It's lovely. Slight concern about the saltiness of the bacon though. That's my only concern. And it's the only thing you need to be eating with a mouthful. And it's the only thing that you need to be concerned with, that cheaper bacons are a little bit more salty. So probably better to use a better quality bacon. I think that's about it. That's the only thing that I can really kind of think of. Or using gammon steaks, but that's nice. We'll see how the other version, the wrapped in foil and that's going to be poached, we'll see how that turns out. Right, the second part of the bacon braciole. I've just put them in a bit of ham stock that I had left over. So I don't think they're sealed pretty well, so I don't think much kind of liquid's going to leach out of them. Ordinarily I'd poach them in water. I wouldn't even season the water. I'd just leave it like straight water. But I had this ham stock. It's hammy, but it's not very salty. So I might as well use that. And I've got some bacon left over. I find bought bacon a little bit salty. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to poach that in with the ham stock and those at the same time, just to kind of cook it, just to draw out some of that moisture, and then I'll do something else with that that bacon. But we're getting off topic. So drop those in there, bring it up to the boil, or straight into. I suppose it's easier to bring something up to the boil, drop something in that's cold, and then bring it up to the boil, rather than put something in hot liquid and poach it that way. So that's why we're going to bring it up to the boil. How long are we going to poach them for? Bring it up to the boil, and we're going to poach for, so turn the temperature down to a slow simmer, and all we really need to do is to cook the bacon all the way through to the centre, which is going to take 20 minutes on a slow poach, something like that. And then I've already decided that I'm going to do two things with these. We'll cut into one straight away to kind of see what it looks like on the inside, and then what we're going to do is we'll let one cool down in the tin foil, and then we'll have a look at that when it's cold, and then we might just fry that in a frying pan to kind of see how it fries up, because I have a good feeling that it might fry really well on the outside, because the bacon will have already shrunk and we will have lost and the fat will have started to render down. As long as we wipe off any kind of jelly that's set on the outside, we might be able to fry it up, and it might be kind of quite an impressive thing to see, because it will have set and it won't explode through the frying process, so that might just kind of quite interesting. So up to the boil, slow simmer, 20 minutes, and then we'll have a look at it. Right, 20 minutes is up. Let's have a look. I'm sure it's plenty of time, 20 minutes. All you really got to do is get to the centre with the heat. Yeah. So they're both going to come out, and then we'll let one cool, and then I've got to fry it up later on when it's gone completely cold. Wouldn't want to do it now. No. Which knife don't I mind cutting into tin foil with? Let's pick that one. And a cloth. I don't know myself. We'll get some juice coming out at the end of this. It looks well. That's the end. That looks well, doesn't it? And then we'll cut the other end off. I probably use a little bit too much foil, but we'll kind of see. It looks alright, doesn't it? Looks kind of professional. So, I want to have a taste. I think that's even nicer. And when you slow braise it in the I got a bit of tin foil on me. And then you slow braise it in the tomato. Do it this way. There we go. That looks good, doesn't it? That looks good. So I'm not going to cut into it because I don't need to, because I've had the end bit, so I know it tastes nice. I think you need to see. I shouldn't have put it in my mouth, should I? And then want to talk. I think you certainly need to double wrap it. So you need to roll it up one way, and then you need to roll it in another layer of bacon. But do you know, you could do the same with like cooked ham, or like Parma ham or Serrano ham or something like that. You could do the same, you know, and then choose the stuffing that you want, you know. So I just use parsley, hard Italian cheese, and breadcrumbs, but throw a bit of garlic in there, change the herbs, change the cheese in, maybe a nice bit of mozzarella going right through the centre, so it's kind of like soft or dotted through it. Some goat's cheese in there would be nice, kind of like dots of lumps of goat's cheese going through it all, kind of like pick and choose what you want. But it looks good. It looks good. Pick and choose what you want. So kind of as your stuffing, use the bacon as the base, and there you go. I think that's quite impressive, really. I don't think I've seen anything. There will be. Someone will have done something very similar to that. There's no new ideas in the world. That's all right. And then we'll see what this one, when this one's cooled down and set up, we'll have a see what that one's like. But I think it's going to work. It'll work particularly well. We'll take it out of the tin foil and then we'll fry it up in a pan, and we'll get crispy on the outside, so the bacon will start to colour on the outside. I don't know if we'll just have to be careful, because we're basically cooking it twice, so it's going to be cold. and then we're going to crisp up the outside. So there's the kind of, we're going to have to cook it gently enough that it cooks all the way through without burning the outside, and fierce enough that we're going to crisp the outside. We might have got away with heating it up and then putting it in the frying pan. But anyway, so yeah, you could use that. You could do that for an alternative for a Sunday dinner, or a meal, and you could prepare all those beforehand and have them slowly poaching, kind of when your guests arrive. Put those in, slowly poach them, serve the starter. Do people have dinner parties anymore? Or if if you're having friends around, get them around, give them a drink, put those in for 20 minutes, and then there you go. And I think people will be very happy with that, because I'd be very happy with that. So there we go. We'll let that cool down, and then pointing off camera, we'll let that cool down, and then we'll fry it up and see how that looks later on. You probably get away with colouring this now. I'm not going to, because I've done enough today. I'm fed up of cooking, and I'm fed up of washing up. But I'm going to go swimming, and then I won't mind frying that up later. See what it looks like. Right, hot pan, hot fat, slightly smoking, and cold and set hot braciole. So there's a moth in the kitchen as well, so if something darts around in front of the camera, it's a moth. But I don't want to swap it because I don't know, it just seems a bit unnecessary to kill it. So we wouldn't have been able to unless we were going to tie this up or pin it with lots of cocktail sticks. It would be very difficult to fry it off. Yeah, there's definitely a moth flying around. Hopefully it won't fry it into the meat. So what you do is you cook it beforehand, let it go cold, which sets the proteins and it'll keep its shape. And then you can do this, so you can fry things off. So I suppose we could have done it while it was still warm, just kind of some degree. But this is just going to render out the excess fat on the outside, make it go a little bit crispy, give it some colour, make it look a little bit more presentable. I'm going to make some noise and put some things away while this is frying off, because I don't like wasting time. It's just a gentle fry, you don't want to do it too hard. I suppose you could use a little bit of butter if you want to kind of enrich it. There's all just kind of ways that you can improve dishes. Oh, there we go. So that's kind of getting a little bit of colour. You can turn it up a little bit more. And ignore the moth flying around in the kitchen. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I quite like eating fat. But you don't want it to be, I want to eat nice, delicious fat. I don't want to eat like rubbery, horrible fat. So by giving it a bit of, frying it a bit, we're going to crisp it up and turn it into delicious fat. Even though bacon fat is delicious on its own anyway. You get the idea. But you see how it holds its shape. And if you want to be really chefy, what you can do is you can baste it, so you can do that, pour the hot fat over the top, and then it kind of colours all over. If you want to be chefy, but we don't want to be chefy, can't be bothered with that. Much too like hard work. But it'll colour gently and be more presentable. It's kind of all down to how much work you want to put into something, and what you're happy with. We can go on and on and on and on and on. I don't know how much this will be cost-wise. Bacon's not hugely expensive compared to other things. Cooking bacon, you can buy the stuff that's more thinner than the first time I did this. You can buy cooking bacon that's thinner than those chunky bits that I first originally bought, you know, that are more like proper slices of bacon. But you can still buy the cheap bacon. I don't know what the difference is between cheap bacon and more expensive bacon. I generally go on the assumption that I don't think it'll be from better quality pigs. I think it'll probably be down to the time that it's cured and the amount of. So if if the bacon looks like it's a little bit too fatty, once they're finished with it, they might decide to kind of downgrade the quality of it, and that's what you get as the cheaper bacon. That might be a reason. Or it might be injected with water, you know, to make it look like it's more economical. There's plenty of reasons why things are cheaper. It's not necessarily because it's a not as good a product, which is a popular misconception. There we go, this is colouring nicely. See, much more presentable that, isn't it? We've used the same plate as before. It won't have been in long enough to cook it all the way through. So it's not going to be hot when I cut into it. So my advice would be to poach it beforehand. Let it be cool slightly so it sets, and then you can cut into it and give it a quick fry, and then make it more presentable. So, I mean, essentially, parsley out the garden, an old bit of hard cheese, and some breadcrumbs, and some bacon, turning into a more interesting dish. I couldn't resist doing the chefy thing, could I? There you go. But that cooked in butter would be even nicer, because you get the caramelisation of the butter. But we're rendering that fat out. Really nice. You can see it's colouring through the basting process. There we go, that'll do. Turn that off. Get rid of that. Try not to turn the fingers when this one. I'll just use fingers. That out of the way. It smells really hammy. Surprise, surprise. I only needed a sharper knife. There we go. The frying it just makes it a little bit more presentable. But you could cook it from the fried if you really wanted. Could cook it from cold. See, it's only lukewarm in the centre. It's not really. It'll take a lot longer to fry it. So I would recommend that you poach it first, and then let it set in the tin foil. Take it out of the tin foil. You know, like maybe for like 2 or 3 minutes. Leave it in the tin foil. Take it out of the tin foil and then fry it, and it should hold together, and it'll give you a much better finish. But there you go. I'm rather happy with that.